Coming up on Citrus TV, an update on the renovations at the Archbold Gym. Citrus TV takes a closer look at what's coming in the new plans.
Updates on the Binghamton University stabbing. The manhunt is over. Have police found the killer?
And a major ruling on a vague law left President Trump's Supreme Court pick siding with the liberals. We'll tell you why and a whole lot more. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
We start the show with some sad news. Business mogul Martin J. Whitman has passed away. Good evening, I'm Gilat Melamed.
And I'm Sabrina Maggiore. Whitman died last night from unknown causes. Whitman, of course, is the name behind the Martin J. Whitman School of Management here at Syracuse. He graduated SU in 1940.
Today is the last day to file your taxes, but that's easier said than done for some people. The IRS website to file them has been down all day. People who waited until today to pay woke up to find the site was down. And this just in, the Treasury Secretary says people will be getting an extension if they were unable to fill out their forms.
Syracuse University houses over 300 clubs on campus. There is seemingly something for everyone, including ceramics majors.
Just how does someone get involved with the Shaped Clay Society?
I don't have a good answer for that.
Others simply sign up.
Well, it's just sort of like the club that all the ceramics grads join, so I just showed up.
The Shaped Clay Society is a club few know outside of the ComArt hallways.
It's been around for quite a long time.
And by long time, Geller means since the beginnings of Syracuse University.
It's had different names. It was called the Threshold Potters.
Currently, there are 15 members in Shaped Clay, including undergrad, grad, and adult learners. They only come together a few times a year to actually throw pots.
Aside from being a home for ceramics majors, the public can do their part with just $20.
So no matter what size or shape, it's just $20 a bowl, and you pick a bowl, you pay, and then downstairs there's people serving soup, and you can take your bowl and go get lunch.
People were lining up at the door like half an hour before the event even started, so to have that level of community support was really kind of exceptional to see.
That's the image every September during the club's annual Empty Bowls fundraiser, which raises money for local food pantries in central New York.
Just like thousands of bowls, and it was so crowded.
To date, the club has raised over $250,000 solely for the food bank.
So we've raised quite a significant amount of money.
The organization's philanthropic mission earned them an Orange Circle Award from the university. The award recognizes those that go, quote, above and beyond in their daily lives.
I feel really honored to have kind of just walked into this organization. So the heavy lifting's been done. It's just fun for me to be a part of now.
The organization's philanthropic efforts continue during graduation weekend through a fundraiser at the ComArt building. All proceeds go towards ceramic scholarships.
Israel Fest took place today on the Quad. The event was organized by Hillel to celebrate Israel's 70th birthday, but a small group of protesters held up pro-Palestine signs on the steps of Hendricks Chapel. Some attendees said the protest was peaceful and did not interrupt the festivities.
Tickets are now on sale for Syracuse's home football games this coming fall. They can be purchased online or at the Carrier Dome box office. Tickets start at $20 for the home opener on September 8th against Wagner. Season tickets are also available.
Syracuse University is completely revamping Archbold Gym. CitrusTV reporter Justine Murray spoke with SU students who have mixed feelings about the project.
The reconstruction of Archbold Gymnasium is well underway, and SU students are looking forward to the new additions.
I saw some pictures of the new updates, and I think it's really awesome.
When they came up with the renovation plans, it seemed really beautiful.
Archbold will now be named the Barnes Center, and updates are being implemented to support the well-being of students as a whole. Many of these students express what facilities they believe should be added.
A couple more basketball hoops, maybe a little bit more convenient weight center, and maybe like a sauna or a steam room I think would be really nice to just, relax afterwards.
Matthew Shakte is a senior law student who thinks the university could have undergone changes in a different way.
In general, I just think they could have been a little bit more transparent with the updates that are going to happen. I think if they would have asked the students what they're looking for.
Current current updates include combining health and wellness services all into one location. Some students believe Archbold shouldn't have changed in the first place.
Last semester, Archbold was better, the best in my opinion. It was the largest, it had the most stuff.
Archbold's reconstruction will not be completed until fall of 2019. The campus planning, design, and construction staff sends out monthly emails to inform students on the renovation progress. Justine Murray, Citrus TV News.
Former Syracuse Parks and Recreation Commissioner Lazarus Sims has been charged with third-degree grand larceny. Sims is accused of stealing over $5,000 in cash from the city. He also stole $3,000 worth of property from the Syracuse Department of Parks and Recreation. Sims was placed on leave in late May after an audit exposed financial discrepancies. His next court day will be on May 7th. And on Monday, 5 upstate New York counties were awarded $2.9 million in relief funds following last year's flooding along Lake Ontario. The counties that received the awards were Orleans, Niagara, Cayuga, Jefferson, and Wayne. Wayne County received the biggest grant of $1 million. The funds will go towards restoration projects as well as towards preventative measures for future storms.
Police have caught their main suspect in the Binghamton stabbing case. Police say Michael Roque, shown here, was arrested late last night after a day-long manhunt. The hunt began on Sunday after freshman Joao Souza was found stabbed to death in his room, and police say the two knew each other.
Roque has been charged with second-degree murder. We'll have more news on the trial as it becomes available. And state SAT scores from last year are out, and Syracuse City Schools had one of the lowest numbers in the state. Riley Burg is live in the studio to tell us what went wrong for the city.
Students across the country prepare for the SAT for months in order to get into the colleges they want. This test score determines whether or not they will be accepted into the schools of their choice, and 2017 was the first year of the new SAT. Changes included less time for the overall test, a change in the grade ranges, and in subscores for different categories. Almost 1.7 million students took the tests last year. The average score was just over 1,000 across all states. When we compare this to the schools here in Central New York, the Syracuse City School District falls below average, ranking second worst in upstate New York and seventh worst in the state. The average score was only slightly above 900. When looking at other schools in Onondaga County, it was also important to note that the Syracuse School District had more than twice the number of test takers than any other district. As you can see on your screen, the school district still had the lowest average score compared to the suburbs. CitrusTV did reach out to the school district and members of the Common Council for comments on plans to improve future scores. We've not received an official response yet, but CitrusTV will keep you updated as more information about the story comes out.
Major Republican super PAC supporting John Katko is spending $48 million for Republican House candidates before November's midterm elections. Katko and Claudia Tenney will get TV ad time in districts funded by the Congressional Leadership Fund. Katko is running for re-election right here in New York's 24th District this fall. His Democratic opponent is yet to be determined. Although Governor Andrew Cuomo's favorability rating is nearly at an all-time low, he is currently in the lead against his potential 2018 primary opponents. Cuomo also has the advantage over the two leading Republican candidates, John DeFrancisco and Mark Molinaro. The poll has the governor's approval rating at 49%.
Governor Cuomo and the New York State Legislature have been called on by government watchdog groups to implement measures that will repress corruption and strengthen transparency. The members of these watchdog groups stated that no anti-corruption legislation have been created in the 2018 legislative session. This advance comes shortly after corruption trials and retrials of former Cuomo administration officials.
People in the city of Syracuse are struggling to get medical care if they don't have health insurance. CitrusTV News reporter Taylor Lang tells us how the Poverello Health Center on North Salina Street treats people for free.
I'm pretty sure my job was just sick of hearing me coughing, so they told me I had to go somewhere, and I do not have insurance, so came here.
The Poverello Health Center has been treating people who do not have health care for almost 20 years. Sister James Peter is one of the founders of the clinic and believes they take care of the forgotten people in the community.
I think we fill in the gaps of those who fall between the cracks.
All of the doctors and nurses are volunteers, and the medical supplies come from donations. The staff has found that the people they help have never forgotten them. One of their patients from 5 years ago donated bags of insulin this afternoon for the diabetic patients who need the treatment.
And I'd rather donate it anyways if it helps somebody else out. I mean, it would with selling it, but you know, it's not quite the same.
Sister James Peters says that more than 25 people come to these each time. They all sit on medical beds like these in the 5 different examining rooms where they can get better without worrying about health insurance.
The doctor that I just saw, he spent more time on me than like the urgent care or, you know, a lot of places that I've been, and they're really thorough and they ask a lot of questions.
The doctors and nurses say most of the people they see wait until their health problems have gotten very bad. The health center also has specialists on staff to help with specific medical problems patients have.
I think a lot of medical issues need a specialist, and I think that the people who come here, like the population, are people who can't afford a specialist a lot of times.
The staff believes they will be around until what they hope is the next step. The New York State budget passing health care for all.
Good way of losing a job that everybody's taken care of, you know.
Taylor Lang, CitrusTV News.
Now, April showers are expected. You know, we're in the second half of April, but April snow showers, I don't know how I feel about that.
I definitely don't like it, but we now are going to go live to David Edelstein, who's out in the hail. David, what's it like out there?
Yeah, I'm live outside the Citrus TV studio right now, and if I had to describe the weather in one word, it would be unpleasant. Currently 36 degrees right now in Syracuse. There are flurries, they're getting in my eyes right now. A cold breeze blowing those flurries around, actually turning it into some hail. It's just not a good day to be walking outside. I actually went over across the Syracuse University campus earlier today where I ran into Otto the Orange, and it was actually partly sunny outside. Some clouds, but partly sunny and a little bit warmer. Since then, there's been almost blizzardous conditions on and off, and now just flurries outside in Syracuse. A wintry mix as these April showers are turning with the colder temperatures into April snow showers. What does that mean for the next few days? Well, that's really the question. How does these storms keep moving through? Because there will be more. I'll let you know in my full weather forecast back in the studio.
After the break, fears of a trade war between the U.S. and China continue.
And a 72-year-old nun arrested in the Philippines. We'll tell you why after this.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Welcome back to Citrus TV. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a section of federal law that requires deportations of immigrants convicted of some crimes of violence.
The Sessions v. DiMaia case produced a 5-4 majority that saw Justice Neil Gorsuch rule with the more liberal justices for the first time since joining the court. Justices held that the law was unconstitutionally vague.
The Supreme Court first heard the case after Justice Antonin Scalia's death last year and decided to rehear arguments this term with the full 9 justices.
A report from news site McClatchy says President Trump's businesses earned $15.1 million from political groups since 2015.
The report also notes political groups spent $500,000 at Mar-a-Lago since 2015. Airplanes, hotels, and golf courses all have benefited from the political groups.
The president did not completely detach his business interests when he was sworn in, and instead keeps his holdings in a trust that he can draw from at any time without the public knowing. Fears of a trade war continue today as plans were made to put a tariff on a major U.S. export, a grain called sargon. The U.S. in turn put harsh restrictions on Chinese phone maker ZTE.
China is the biggest buyer of American sorghum products, and ZTE relies on parts from American companies. The newest trade disputes come after weeks of arguing between the countries.
James Comey's memoir has officially hit the shelves.
The book, titled A Higher Loyalty, has been making headlines for a while now. It's already infamous for its explosive comments about President Trump.
The memoir has raised questions about Comey's credibility and has also caused recent drama in the White House due to Comey's comments on the Russia investigation. The Trump administration has yet to place additional sanctions on Russia despite comments made on Sunday by UN Ambassador Nikki Haley.
Haley claimed that the U.S. Treasury Department would formalize more sanctions on Russia by Monday. Trump has allegedly halted the approval of the sanctions.
The White House is saying that Haley got ahead of herself and announced things that were not discussed.
President Trump met with Japan's Prime Minister today to discuss North Korea's trade. This is leader Shinzo Abe's second visit to Mar-a-Lago retreat since Trump took office last year.
Both leaders are facing high pressure at home. While Abe faces cronyism claims, Trump battles the Russia investigation.
And an Australian nun was taken from her home in the Philippines and detained by the Immigration Bureau.
Sister Patricia Fox was held for 24 hours due to her allegedly performing illegal political activities. Her lawyer said that she was arrested because the government believed she joined a rally against the Tagum City government.
Fox was detained the day after a Socialist Party official from the EU was deported for criticizing the country's harsh anti-drug crackdown.
Coming up, will we ever see spring? Find out with David Edelstein after the break.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. My hands and face are still a little bit cold from being outside because it's only 36 degrees outside right now. Really about the same there, high 30s, some low 30s, but as you can tell, just about the same, just near freezing temperatures, and it's already almost a month into spring. This is because of a lot of the clouds that are moving in, pushing this wind around, making the wind chill even colder than the real temperatures. We do see some snowy spots, though, over tonight and into tomorrow. That's going to be just kind of in between. You have some clouds, some sun could get through, but mainly you see these blue spots of snow and ice, and then a little bit of green. That could be some rain depending on the exact current temperature at the time. Taking a look into tomorrow, high of 44 degrees, low of 32. It will again be very breezy. When you take a look throughout the day, it's going to be the high of the 37, but 22 at 8 in the morning if you're an early riser. 29 degrees at noon, and then by 6 p.m. a little bit warmer, but those clouds are just going to stick around. Visibility will start to decrease at 10 p.m. As you take a look at the 5-day forecast, again, very windy tomorrow, so be careful. A little bit of snow and rain on Thursday, snow again on Friday, but then the sun should start to peek through. A little bit warmer, some hope for spring as we head towards Sunday. 50 degrees and a little bit warmer as we go forward. Will spring continue to move in, and will Syracuse finally get those 60s, maybe 70s? We'll let you know later in the broadcast.
And coming up in sports, it's a lacrosse family affair inside the Dome this weekend, and I'll tell you which basketball team is making its way to Central New York. News Live at 6 returns after this.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back, I'm Tyler Aki. This Saturday, SU faceoff specialist Danny Varello may be seeing flashbacks to old pillow fights and backyard battles. The sophomore gets set to face his older brother Joe this weekend on the faceoff dot against Navy. And so far this season, the elder Varello's numbers are much better than Danny's. The senior has won nearly 60% of his tries, while SU's Varello has only won about half of his faceoffs. But after last week's 60% effort against UNC, Danny is confident about the Orange's chances at the X moving forward.
And also, I think our wings played absolutely phenomenal. I think in the big face-offs where it was a 50-50 ground ball, I mean, it goes along with the ground ball, ratio. Like, they picked up every single ball that was loose off the face-off, which was huge, because it really gives me a rest. It takes the pressure off me a little bit, knowing that I have guys like Brett Kennedy and Peter Dirth and Austin Fusco on the wing. I can kind of rely on them, and the communication on the wings was really good today too. I think the wings have definitely learned to really communicate on the wings, and I think they picked up almost every loose ground ball home. It's awesome.
And for a full breakdown of the Varello family feud, join us for Orange Press Pass starting at 6 on Saturday. We'll have a full breakdown of Syracuse and Navy, as well as the Orange's outlook for the ACC tournament. It's Orange Press Pass right here on OTN. Elsewhere on the Hill, SU women's tennis bumped up one spot in the rankings after beating Notre Dame over the weekend. The Orange checks in at 27th in the latest ITA polls and has been ranked for the last 7 weeks. As for personal rankings, Gabby Knutson fell one spot in the latest singles polls, but did stay in the top 5. Knutson sits 5th in the country. And some good news for a former SU basketball standout. Guard Brittany Sykes was one of 19 players selected for the U.S. national team camp. This will serve as a tryout for Sykes to make Team USA for this September's FIBA World Cup in Spain. Sykes was named to the WNBA All-Rookie team after averaging nearly 14 points per game. And a trio of games in action for tonight's NBA playoffs. On the early slate, Toronto and Boston both look to take a 2-0 series lead at home. Meanwhile, New Orleans star Anthony Davis looks to ride the momentum from his 35-point performance. The Pelicans try to take a 2-game stranglehold over the Blazers at 10:30. And on the ice, some critical matchups in tonight's Stanley Cup playoffs, starting with the underdog Blue Jackets' quest to take a 3-0 lead over the Caps. Meanwhile, the Wild looks to even things up with the Jets in Minnesota. And how about this? In their inaugural season, the Golden Knights go for the sweep over the Kings in LA. Well, Syracuse Lacrosse's future is looking bright thanks to one local recruit. Orange commit and Jamesville DeWitt product Griffin Cook was named an Under Armour All-American today. So far this season, Cook has tallied 10 goals to go along with a team-leading 15 assists. And the Chiefs and Crunch will have to make room for another minor league team in town. The Syracuse Stallions were approved by the American Basketball Association today. The Stallions will be an expansion franchise for the 2018 ABA season and are holding tryouts starting April 29th.
All right, Tyler, so we've got multiple playoffs tonight in both hockey and in basketball. What are your predictions?
Well, I really think that this Pelicans team is pretty good. They beat the Blazers against all odds in that first game, so I like the Pelicans again on the road tonight. As for hockey, I think one matchup to really watch out for tonight is the Vegas Golden Knights. I think they get the sweep done out in LA.
And those are your predictions, but what's your personal favorite game that you're looking forward to watching?
Well, this Vegas Golden Knights team is certainly one that's a really cool story to watch. Again, you don't see a lot of expansion teams get into the playoffs, let alone go for a sweep in their first ever playoff series. So that's the story to watch tonight. I'm really looking forward to the Vegas Golden Knights.
All right. Coming up, a very special birthday here for Citrus TV. Stay tuned.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Got a quarter?
Welcome back to Citrus TV. We've got David Edelstein in studio right now. David, we had some really unpredictable weather today, and honestly, I hated it. So tell me, how am I supposed to get dressed for tomorrow?
Yeah, honestly, I'm still defrosting right now, and it's been 20 minutes since I was outside. Tomorrow it is still going to be cold, unfortunately, still going to be in the high 30s. Again, getting windy too, so it will feel even colder than that. But as you go forward throughout the days and weeks, besides some snow that we're going to see midweek now, you are going to get some of those warmer temperatures finally. Spring will head in next week. Hopefully it doesn't change too much in the forecast, but from what we see right now, should be about 60 degrees as an average heading into next week. So that's when you're going to start dressing a little bit warmer.
Well, I am certainly looking forward to that, David. Thank you so much. And before we go, we have a very special birthday on our show. Our producer has a pet hedgehog, and he turns 1 year old today.
This is Peter Quill. These pictures are from his Instagram page where he has updates on his daily life.
Peter is back in the newsroom right now eating his favorite food, some scrambled eggs.
And that's all the time we have for today. For Citrus TV News, I'm Sabrina Maggiore.
And I'm Gilat Melamed. Have a great night, Syracuse.